Lando's being such a good boy. Day 2, 5 p.m. outside the terminal. You right? Yeah, I guess. Cool. Mind if I join you? Go for it. Going to lurk and take a shower? You alright, Volusia? Sure do appreciate you hanging out. I hope you enjoy your shower. Durry? You want a Durry? I'm sorry, Durry. Coffin nail. Cigarette. You want to smoke or nah? Oh, right, of course. Yeah, sure. Sorry, it's been a weird day. Don't smoke, kids. I don't care how old you are. Don't smoke. Thanks. No worries. Where are you from, then? Heh. You're the first to ask. I live in Collingwood. Oh, yeah? Whereabouts? Smith Street. Bit pricey up there these days, isn't it? Bet you like your avo toast. Piss off. I've got housemates. Well, nah, I know what you mean. Bit odd, being dead and all that. Takes some getting used to. People keep saying that, but it doesn't make me feel any better. I understand. Do you? I reckon as much as anyone can, yeah? Right. Hey, what's avo toast actually taste like? Huh? I've never had it. Can't you just go out and eat some? I'm sure Maddie could whip it up if you asked. Avocados are a highly malevolent fruit. Don't trust them one bit. Plus, I've got this whole situation. Oh, so that's what the straw is for. You got it. So what does it taste like? I don't know, like avocado and toasted bread? Avocado is kind of cold and mushy, but it's got a good taste. Like peas? Definitely better than mushy peas. Love me a bowl of peas, mate. What, 'cause they're the only thing you can eat through a straw? Watch yourself. Gonna zap me with your death council powers? First off, it's the Council of Death, not a death council. They're totally different things. Secondly, you really think that's what we do? Walk around shooting lightning out of our fingers? Well, when you put it like that, it sounds a bit silly, yeah. We don't do anything like that. We just keep things running smoothly, that's all. Harassing cafe owners to settle their time debt isn't something we like to do often. So you just keep the peace? As fucking ironic as that sounds, yeah, Ned keeps the peace. Dude, I know. Want another? Sure. Aw. How pretty. I love the sunrises here. They're alright. You watch many sunrises, Ned? Not enough, no. Even semi-immortals need their sleep. I like to just sit here and watch it. Even when it's cloudy or raining, there's just something about watching the sunrise that makes it easier to deal with the coming day. Feeling optimistic all of a sudden? Nah, I still feel like shit. Ha. How about you, Kishan? Kishan? I don't feel great. I'm still having a lot of trouble, You guys, I'm dead, and I've only got a couple of hours left before I have to go, and I don't think anyone here properly understands what it's like to see your last sunrise ever without any idea of what's to come next, and this really fucking terrifying. And I'm never gonna see my friends or my boyfriend or my family again. I'm just gonna pass on, and I'll never know how they'll remember me or mourn me, or even if I'm gonna be remembered as a good dude who tried his best, or if I'll just be forgotten in a year. But that good dude who tried his best couldn't even win a friggin' game of five-finger fillet in the basement of a cafe that basically sits at the banks of the Styx as far as I can tell. And God, I can't even tell if that matters. Were the stakes low? High? I can't tell. I'm so disoriented and I'm trying so desperately to feel something, but all I feel is that I'm slipping away with every second. I'm losing myself by degrees, and that's incredibly scary, and I don't know how to deal with it. Yeah, fair cop. I actually came out to apologize for that. The game. Oh, for God's sake, Maddie, have you been gambling again? Can it, Ned? Keyshawn, I shouldn't have taken that time from you. You took it fair and square. I don't feel like I did, so I'm giving it back. Believe me, I'm as surprised as you are. I don't usually do this. What's different this time? That's my business. I can't believe you're still swindling people out of their hours to try to fix your debt. Dude, I know. It's bloody undignified, and it's a clear violation of the rules. I will banish you right now, my man. I thought you'd stop pulling that crap once you took ownership of the cafe from Che. You really think this is going to help you pay this debt? Y'all, I need you to look at my situation right now. This is my life right now. And I don't, what am I supposed to do? I'm trapped. What am I supposed to do with this? Yes, absolutely. And if you've got any bright ideas on how to do it otherwise, I'm all ears. We should have never granted you and Che those licenses to practice. You've obviously failed to be responsible with them. Perish in this position. Yeah, that's the only option. How you doing, mofo? How's it going? You really think we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't have licenses, Bushman? Whoa! Given your history, the hypocrisy on display here is astounding. That's all behind me, and you know it. I've been working on doing some good for the last 100 years. With the council? With the council? Really? Yes, we maintain the balance. You know why that's important. Sure do. I don't need you moralizing at me from your ivory tower. Give it a rest, guys. But I'm pulling the last day on Earth card. Quit it. Drinking a blood orange and honey beer? That sounds amazing. Oh. Sorry, I just had to take a second to imagine how good that tastes. I'll be inside. Come find me when you want those hours back, Keyshawn. It's not the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth. For what it's worth, I'm sorry about all of this. I've never been to the other side. I was too afraid to leave. I walked the land for decades, evading the council. That's a crime they call revenancy. Staying too long, upsetting the balance. But in lieu of booting me straight to the next place or some sort of eternal punishment, the council offered me a job. Sorry, that's all stuff you don't care about, I suppose. It's interesting enough. Nah, I'm just filling up empty air. You should head inside and grab those hours back. Truth be told, I'm not feeling especially fond of Maddie right now. She might have been dishonest with you, but even I can tell she's at the end of her rope. And you might not be able to see it yet, but I think the people in there are fond of you. You think so? Maddie wouldn't have offered the hours back if there wasn't something different about you. Plus, that kid Ashley seems to like you, yeah? I guess. She kind of just dragged me off and got me to hold screwdrivers for her. Trust me, she thinks you're great. Go on, go inside and say hi. I've got some business to go stick my nose into anyway. All right. Catch you in a bit. I've got some questions about the council. Of course. I won't be out for long. Later, mate. So, Ted came into the story as a very clear antagonist. I thought he was going to be like a bad guy. But I'm really happy that they're, for lack of a better term, humanizing him. And kind of like, like he's like everybody is in some kind of corner right now. And they're all just trying to get out of a mess that they are in of some kind. Yeah, giving nuance to him is really great. I'm glad that they didn't just make him one-dimensional asshole. Hey. Yo. You want those hours back? I guess so. It's only 4 hours. I don't think it'll make much difference. If it's okay, I'd prefer that you have them. Ashley's been enjoying having you around. Just Ashley? And me too, I guess. You seem pretty reluctant to admit that, my dude. Don't psychoanalyze me. We're gonna hold on this for just a second so I can get a screenshot of it, because this is a whole mood right here. Okay, moving on. Sit still for a minute. All right, lay your hand on mine. Place your index finger on my wrist. This part of your ritual or just an excuse to hold hands? Shut up. His hands are so much larger than hers. Holy cow. Thanks. Watch carefully, and no matter what you do, don't move your hand. There's usually a binding spell I use to make sure that doesn't happen, but I've run out of the regents required, and you probably don't care about that. True. Alright, yep. I give this time freely and without coercion. As above, so below, I maintain the balance. Ow! I maintain the balance. That's it. How do you feel? I actually feel better. I feel less itchy. Yeah, you weren't kidding. Yeah, we weren't kidding about that yesterday. As you linger, you begin to upset the balance, and as I understand, it does not feel good. Right, yeah. How does Ned get to stick around then? Does he just ignore it? The council are a special case. They're more similar to demigods or demons than they are to us. That's fascinating. Tell me about it. I'd have joined ages ago, but they're uptight dicks. They don't seem so bad to me. That's because you've not run into any of their ridiculous rules. Bunch of bloody regulations on manipulating life force and certain standards on the treatment of spirits. Is that why you gave me the hours back? Because Ned realized you broke the rules? No, that was all within the guidelines, despite his blustering. Alright, let me move this kitty. You gotta move, baby. Okay. No. Did you hear him? No! Come on. Hey. Hey, don't you get cranky with me. How are you making yourself heavier? Don't you flick your tail at me. Come on. I'm the boss of you. Oh, well. Lando. We can't stay like this. Oh, you gotta go in the box now. Oh. Okay. There you go. Do you hear him getting sassy with me? I gave them back because I felt bad. That's all. Oh, neat. So you pity me. I love that. I'm actually really into it. No, dude, it's not like that at all. Nah, you don't need to clarify. I get it. Seriously? Last day on Earth. Moving on. Fine, sure. I'm sorry. Sorry, I've got to serve this customer. I'll help. Really? It's probably not a two-person job. Yep. Come on. Oh, he looks so disgruntled over here in the box. Oh. People coming in and moving on? Day 2, 6 p.m. Whew. Anything else that needs doing? Nah, I'm gonna take this tray of glasses into the kitchen. You can go chill for a bit. I'll take them. You need a break. Sure. Where's the kitchen? That way. You'll find it eventually. Cool, back in a minute. The way they're depicting people coming in and out is very interesting. Uh-oh. Your pawns are nothing compared to the raw power of my castles. Nothing! Yeah? What's this then? Hi! My castle! Brought low by my own hubris! No, it was just a pawn. And maybe a little hubris. Bishop! Knight! Ah! Your other castle and check. Check, you say? Oh, I didn't think of that. You activated my trap card. Oh, hey, Maddie, come check this out. I tricked him into a false sense of security. Oh, man, that's embarrassing. You seriously let her outmaneuver you like that? Yeah, I'm very ashamed. I suppose the real hubris was inside me all along. I friggin' love winning. I should try doing this more often. A chance to win at chess. Could grow into a big winning streak, you know? You want to play something with us? I should really head back down to the bar. There's nobody there. No, Lando. No, you're very handsome. No, das ist verboten. Come on, take a load off. This cat is being a bad kitty now. There we go. Come on, take a load off. If anyone really needs you, they'll know where to find you. How about I grab us all a drink, make sure there's nobody waiting down there, then we play something. Won't be 5 minutes. You actually gonna come back this time? You never come back. Oh no. What are you doing back there? Oh yeah? Have you been sitting in that box innocently this whole time? Cat. I'll come back. Promise. Why don't you pick out a game while I'm gone? Let's find something, Ashley. What do you feel like playing today? Something... something with lots of dice. Dice it is. We'll see you in a minute, Maddie. Day 2, Ashley's workshop. What is this? I must know. And that's why the 4th season of Row Battle Royale was an absolute betrayal. But you still want to be on it one day? Well, yeah. Unless an indie circuit opens up. Like in wrestling? Exactly like in wrestling. Melbourne's got a local show. I want something like that. You could probably put your own local league together if you worked really hard. Perhaps you could build the robots and get people to battle them? Human-controlled bots are boring, though. I want to get more of that spirit juice and put together a bigger Ashling. How big? I think I'll start at car size, then move on to more of a bus-adjacent form factor. I'm not sure we have enough to power one of those. You'd have to get Maddie to source you a large amount of it. We'd need liters of it at least. Uh-oh. That'd be super cool. Oh, wait, oh. Well, technically. But what Ned doesn't know won't hurt him. He'd lose his head if he knew half the things we were doing around here. I don't know, he seems fairly lenient with you, right? He wasn't always like that. A long time before you turned up, he nearly shut me down because Would you believe it's because I sheltered a criminal? He nearly shut you down because of that? Am I thinking of the same criminal you are? Trust me, the irony was apparent. I found it very, very funny. What sort of criminal were they? Just a minor demon on the run. I don't know what she did to get a price on her head. I just took her in when she stumbled through the door, dripping blood everywhere. That's metal. It was extremely metal. How long did you manage to hide her for? Oh, not too long, maybe 6 weeks. The time flew by, if I'm being honest. Why's that? Was she from the clock realm? No, nothing like that. We were, bonded. Magically? How'd you do that? I thought I heard you telling Maddie that sort of thing was impossible between beings on this plane. No, not magically. We were... lovers. Ew! Yuck! Ew! Ah, happier days. I love hearing about when you were young and reckless. Gosh, what do you think I am now, huh? Old and boring? Definitely old. Despite myself, I must say you're definitely not boring. There's that patented Maddie charm. Well, you know me, I'm full of them. Oh yeah, charms, hexes, curses. That's all on your account, old man. I won't deny it. Hey, Maddie? Hey, dude, having trouble finding the kitchen? Yeah, I couldn't. I checked everywhere. It's just behind the bar, man. You can't miss it. I told you, I checked everywhere. No, you're not catching my drift. It's just behind the bar. You can't miss it. Have another look. It'll be there this time. Sometimes you gotta remind the quantum hallways that they exist. Fine. I love this range of emotions that you're giving me in chat, Seiji. It's just like a full spectrum. How long are you going to keep him here, Maddie? Oh, we're keeping him? No, we're not keeping him. I'm going to let him stay as long as he wants. He'll leave on his own accord at some point. You feel sorry for him? Weirdly, yeah. I don't usually get attached to customers, but he's a good dude. I like him. Heh, do you like him because he's nice or because he was good at passing your tools over? Yes. Don't get too attached. He's not going to be here forever. Well, duh, I know how it works. I'm going to enjoy having him around, just like you taught me. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Ashley. That's from the motivational calendar I threw out last week. I never said that. Same. I'm used to people moving on, is the point. I can deal with it. Good. Day 2, 6:30. 15 minutes later. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Fuck! Yeah. You gonna keep staring at that coffee stain or nah? Yes? Okay, whatever. What do you want from this conversation? I'm an open book as far as matters of life and death are concerned. Yeah. I don't want to go. I know you've probably heard this from, I don't know, 1,000 people or whatever. It's not about staying around for people or wanting to go back to my old life, as wonderful and not stressful as that sounds. Like, I'm not afraid of what lies on the other side. I don't think there's any point to worrying about it until I'm there. I just don't think I've spent enough time here. The cafe? No. Oh. All this, I guess you'd call it this plane? Roughly speaking, I suppose so. I want to know what you did to be able to stay. Sure. Did Maddie give you those hours back? Yeah, why? Well, that's a way. You can just find enough hours to stay as a spirit, half here, half gone. But it's a wretched existence. I wouldn't want to live like that. How would you find the hours, though? There's only so many you can get from consenting beings, right? The crappy psychology of gambling aside, you're right, yes. So the question is, how do you do that? How do you create life from nothing? The answer is that you can't, Kishan. It's impossible. There's always got to be some sort of balance maintained. Everyone who learns to manipulate the fundamental life forces understands that, no matter whether they're doing good or bad things with their skills. Here's the thing, though. You don't need both parties to agree. It's just a social nicety, something that separates us from, well, people who don't do that. That's where the idea of vampires came from, for example. Those bastards. They're not special or anything, they're just dickheads. Dickheads. Anyway, if you can take life force from people, you can also drain it from animals or plants. Sorry, I have to like skip through. Those bastards. You can also drain it from animals or plants. But in this business, there's a lot we don't or can't understand. One of the things we can't understand is why life force from animals and plants is tainted. It feels gross. If it didn't, everyone would take it. Consequences be damned. How are you feeling today before Maddie took those hours back? I felt like I was slipping away. Like my mind was really foggy. It was really hard to think or put sentences together. Nobody really noticed, though. Typical. Imagine that, but 10 times worse. You're foggy, but there's also something fundamentally wrong. Like you're a collection of puzzle pieces that don't quite fit together. That's an engine, like an engine that's running out of oil. That sounds horrifying, right? So, should I do it? Probably not. How would I stay otherwise? Well, you could always go on the lam, just run for it. But you'd catch me. Not me, personally, but yes, the council would, eventually. And that's it? That's my only option. Perhaps. Depends on how you feel about bonding your soul for eternally to a fundamentally neutral arbiter of justice. I have no strong feelings about it one way or another. Smart arse. Oh, it's very clever. Would you regret it if you stayed here forever instead of moving on? I don't know. I guess that'd be up to me, right? How do you mean? In the end, how I feel about taking a big branch in my life is just a matter of how I frame it. I can focus on what I'll regret, sure, but it's not a useful way to spend my time. If I focus on the future, on everything that's in the possibility space instead of outside of it, that's probably better for me, yeah? Sure. You don't sound convinced. I'm just ambivalent on it. I try not to think about anything too hard. I try not to think about anything too hard these days. But if you're willing to accept eternal bondage with the council, I can keep you here. It's not easy work, though. You have to act in the best interests of the system, not its individual parts. Bureaucracy at its finest. How did you learn to deal with it? Just took some time. When you're used to it, you learn not to think too hard about what you're doing. As long as you take a holistic view of everything, things generally shake out all right. We tend to only bother the biggest rule breakers anyway. Maddie being one of them? Ugh, habitually. She wouldn't be getting so much leeway if it weren't for Che. I don't understand that guy. He's nice, we've chatted a bit, but what makes him so special? He's provided services in the past. I can count on one hand the number of people who know as much about the manipulation of life forces as he does. He's been researching it for over 100 years. No way, he's that old? He looks like 60, max. Yep, much older than that. He does not look anywhere near 60. Are you kidding me? That's like an anime 60. Wild. We're getting sidetracked, though. How do you feel about joining the council? I don't hand out offers willy-nilly, you know. I'm interested, but can I have some time to think about it? How much time do you have? You've been out for nearly 25 hours. You're overdue. Put it on Maddie's tab. Ha. Okay. I assume you're not going to stick around forever. Unlikely, if the next few hours are anything like how I felt this morning. I'll stick around until you have a solid answer then. Cool. Alright. Want to get drunk? We're already drinking, mate. Nah, Che told me about something pretty special he's got behind the bar. Unless it's something really special, he's probably offered me some. And even then, so you've tried the bottled soul? You pulling my leg? Nope. You've got to be mistaken. You haven't seen it in person, have you? Yeah, I actually have seen it. That's quite illegal. I expected better from him. Damn it. So, we're gonna drink it or not? Council regulations require me to confiscate it or force the owner to dispose of it. We'd be doing him a favor then. I suppose. Come on, dude. Shay said it'd knock you flat. When you say you, do you mean me, or you, or just anyone who drinks it? Anyone. It's like 200% alcohol or something. That's not technically possible, but I'll admit my interest is piqued. Well, let's not waste any time. Uh-oh. Damn it. This was a setup, wasn't it? Basically. You in? Fine. Oh, this looks deadly. Good thing dead people can't get alcohol poisoning. A to bureaucracy. Aw, they're buddies. Ha, to bureaucracy. Oh. This is the first, like, indication of technology. Yo. Your orders arrived. 3 days late, mate. It got held up by a mutual acquaintance of ours. Ah, shit. That'd explain why he's in my hair. I'll be there in half an hour. Achievement unlocked. End of the line. The catabasis is considered to be a vital part of the hero's narrative. Every hero goes to hell at some point. And in the stories, they usually come back, which is the bit that seems weird to me. I don't think that's how it works in real life. The cafe has a bunch of heroes come through, claiming that they were going to conquer hell and come back. They never returned, as far as I saw. The idea of catabasis, probably, maybe, is that in the grand scheme of things, hell, or the underworld, or Hades, or whatever you want to call it, anyway, it's on the outside of wherever we are, like we're trapped inside this sphere, and we leave it to go to hell. Did the ancient Greeks ever consider that maybe we've been on the outside the whole time, just waiting to get in? Maybe they did. Matter of perspective. I guess I'll ask one sometime if I ever meet one. But perhaps we're just waiting our entire lives for this, to pass through the firmament to the next place. To be driftwood that washes up on the shore of whatever the next place actually is. Excuse me. Yes, these are all dancing like liquid container bottles. Seems weird, but maybe that's where we're naturally meant to be. I'm thinking it's possible that this world isn't some sort of proving ground or anything. Maybe it's just a waiting room. A beautiful, flawed, complex waiting room. Personally, I don't think there's anything like heaven or hell waiting for us. No judgment either. The world doesn't ever operate in binaries or absolutes. That's just flawed human thinking projected onto things that are much, much more complex than they can ever perceive. And I don't think what's waiting on the other side is even something that we can conceptualize. I bet it's cool. It's a shame that it's a one-way trip, though. That was the first time they spoke, like, without the little brackets on the outside of their speech. Oh, shit. Oh, wow, we have a lot of words. I would like... spirit juice. I can't read some of these. Oh, I can... Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there we go. 1,000 people. License practice. What a two-person job. The next place. How about dice? Foggy? And I'm gonna do confiscate. Oh. Oh, that's okay. Cool. Nice, nice. We have 2 deaths. This is gonna work out wonderfully timing wise. So we're gonna go around here and team transient. Let's have a little look-see around here. Ashley's journal. Oh. Well, I don't have any Melbournes. What's going on out here? Aha, perfectionist. Maddie studied the gentleman at the counter. Let me see. I really love how, like, the world, like we're getting to explore all the places that we're looking at. Because sometimes games just don't let you. Ashley's original ideas. Do not steal. Kitchen assistant. Wait, hang on. That might be the one. That might be the one, but I just want to see what others there are. Funereal. Uh-oh. Hang on. I might... Okay. So, magic, death, Kishan. Oh, I could do both of these. Okay, so definitely... Whoops. Let me just see what else is kind of hanging out. Or, whoop, whoop. Oh, Beth too. Yeah, no. We're definitely gonna do Ashley's invention. No, I didn't mean to do that. Damn it. Ashley's original ideas. Do not steal. Kitchen assistant. According to Maddie, the best way to chop hard ingredients like carrots or celery is to place the thing you are chopping near the point where the tip of the knife touches the board. Since this gives it more leverage. I looked it up, and this is called a Class 2 lever, which gives you way more torque than when cutting hard things. The mechanical advantage you get from a Class 2 lever can be increased by making the knife longer. That gave me the idea to make a knife that was 1 meter long. That would provide much greater mechanical advantage than the knives Maddie uses, which are only 10 centimeters or 18 centimeters long. Maddie says that I'm not allowed to use any knives that are longer than 18 centimeters and said something about a weeb katana, so that idea is a dead end. I don't know what she meant by that, so I looked it up online and found some videos of guys using really long blades to cut things like water bottles. Apparently the key to cutting is force and speed. Since Maddie doesn't want any blades longer than 18 centimeters, that means getting more force from leverage is out. But I could compensate for this by just making the blades really, really fast. I created Kitchen Assistant version 1 that uses a shorter knife, but it's affixed to a wheel that turns at 290 RPMs even with the blade attached. The first time I turned it on, the blade wasn't completely secured and it flew off and embedded in the ceiling. To make sure this wouldn't happen again, for version 2, I welded the blade to the flywheel so that it won't come off. I think that Maddie is really pleased with the result because I only had to use a 10 centimeter blade, which is much smaller than the original blade size that she had a problem with. Also, when choosing the knife to weld on the flywheel, I picked the knife that Maddie says is the best one. I think her personal bias will cause her to like my invention more because I built it using her favorite knife. Knife retriever. Kitchen Assistant version 2 was a big success, but my testing of Kitchen Assistant version 1 left a knife embedded in the ceiling, and I wasn't able to reach the knife by climbing on top of my stepladder. I could probably reach it if I placed my stepladder on the countertop, but Maddie says that that's dangerous, and so I want to find a way to retrieve the knife without breaking that rule. I was thinking of making a giant magnet, but electromagnets require a lot of power, and the last time I tried to draw a lot of power from the outlet, it tripped the circuit breakers. And if you try taping the circuit breakers in place so that they don't trip, things. Fuck. I'm laughing because all of this is relatable. This is uncomfortably relatable. I feel like I'm being exposed by this, basically. I'm going to try that again. I was thinking of making a giant magnet, but electromagnets require a lot of power, and the last time I tried to draw a lot of power from the outlet, it tripped the circuit breakers. And if you try taping the circuit breakers in place so that they don't trip, things catch on fire, and it's a lot harder to fix, especially hiding that thing from Maddie requires so much effort. Keeping the smell of smoke covered while replacing a breaker box is like doing 2 jobs at once, and that's 2 jobs more than I want to do on a Saturday afternoon, you know what I'm saying? So a magnet is probably out, especially because I'm not sure if the knife is made out of ferromagnetic material. I don't know what Maddie's knives are made of, but if they're made out of aluminum, the magnet won't work. I might have to try the electromagnetic thing if I can think of a plan before Maddie notices. She probably wouldn't like it. The good news is that the knife is firmly embedded in the wood, and the compressive force of the knife is enough to prevent it from falling down due to gravity, unless a loud vibration caused it to fall down. So there's a very low probability of the knife falling down and hurting someone. The only thing that could disturb this is if it got humid and the wood around the knife started to warp, and the weather forecast said that we're not getting any rain for the next few days, so I should have plenty of time to get the knife down before it's at risk of falling. Just as long as Maddie doesn't look up when she's standing behind that part of the counter, everything will be fine. Visibility reducer. To prevent Maddie from looking up and seeing the knife on the ceiling, I created a device to dissuade her from looking up. If you put a really bright halogen lamp somewhere, it really makes people not want to look in that direction. So I figured that if the knight had a halogen lamp next to it, anytime Maddie thought of looking up at the ceiling, she would decide, no, I don't want to look up there because there's a bright halogen lamp right there that will probably blind me. I'll look down at the counter instead. Or maybe she will look up at the light and then she'll be so disoriented by how bright it is that she won't see the knife on the ceiling. The LED on my headlamp only goes up to 50 lumens, and it takes 500 lumens to disorient a person. I love how she knows that. The problem was that I couldn't figure out how to affix the halogen lamp to the ceiling. That was the same problem I had with retrieving the knife. It's too high up. Then I realized the simple solution. I could get the halogen lamps up to the ceiling the same way I got the knife up there by having the kitchen assistant version 1 throw them. The halogen lamps aren't sharp enough to embed themselves in the wood, so I had to apply a layer of fast-drying adhesive covered by another layer of wood glue. I figure the fast-drying adhesive will hold them there long enough for the wood glue to dry, and that will keep them from falling. Until I can figure out a way to get the knife down. My first attempt to use the kitchen assistant version 1 to throw the halogen lamp at the ceiling did not go so well since it let go at the wrong time and instead flung the lamp into the wall. It took me almost 5 minutes to clean up all of the big pieces. Almost 5 whole minutes, you say. There were a lot of pieces that I didn't have time to pick up, but they were so small, Maddie probably won't notice them. And if Che notices, then he'll probably clean them up without saying anything. That's what the glass shards behind the counter were for. I was wondering if they were going to be a story element because they were very, noticeable. The second attempt, I got the kitchen assistant to throw at the ceiling, but its velocity was too high, and when the bulb hit the ceiling, it shattered instead of sticking. I tried lowering the RPM of the kitchen assistant version 2, but after my 5th attempt, I realized I was out of halogen bulbs. I wonder if I can recycle the broken pieces for anything. Lamp bulbs seem like they would be very hard to reconstruct. I love that. I love that so much. Okay, funereal. I've been thinking, said Kishan. Uh-oh, said Maddie. About the people that I've left behind, said Kishan. Well, I'm not going to see any of them again. One of them could be about a walk One of them could be about to walk through that door, said Maddie. Don't taunt me with possibilities, said Kishan. You brought it up. Yeah, well, he slumped over in a funk. Death has a real finality to it, you know? Yeah, it does, said Maddie. That's death. The travel from life to death is a very one-way street for all but a few individuals, and if you're standing here, then it's a bit late for chess paddles. I guess I'm thinking more about the fact that I'm not going to see any of my old friends again, not as long as they're alive, anyway. That does tend to be how death works, says Maddie. I hope you're not surprised. Not surprised, said Kishan, but also I wouldn't have been surprised if that wasn't the case, you know? Sorry, let me reread that. But also I wouldn't have been surprised if that wasn't the case, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure on at least one occasion I've threatened people by saying I will haunt you. And now that's never gonna happen. Pity, said Maddie. You could have been someone's grudge ghost film. Guess that one's confined to the annals of Japanese horror cinema. Hey, said Kishan. I was wondering, do you think there's any way for me to see what's going on at my funeral? Don't, said Maddie. All right. I just thought, it's kind of everyone's fantasy, right? To see what people have to say about them after they've passed. Wouldn't you want to see what was going on at your own funeral? I think it's none of your business what goes on at your funeral, said Maddie. Really? Said Kishan. I mean, I think it's pretty common for people to plan their own funerals, at least if they go late enough that they can see it coming. I'd like to have my brother deliver a eulogy. Don't let them play any Barry Manilow songs, that sort of thing. Maddie blinked. Do you have a problem with Barry Manilow? No, I have no particular opinion on the man or his music, but a lot of people who are old enough to be planning their own funeral do. You can make your plans, but whatever unfolds at the funeral is up to those who attend it. Kishan blinked. What about the wishes of the dead? I thought you'd have a bit more sympathy for their interests, considering how often you interact with them. I care plenty about the dead, said Maddie. You were asking about funerals. Funerals are for the living, my friend. I have absolutely had that ponderance before, both here and on Twitter and on Facebook. Absolutely, funerals are for the living. I agree. Kishan opened his mouth to respond, but cut himself short. I never thought about it that way. I'm not sure what to say. If you're short on words but high on energy, you can expend some of that energy by carrying this box upstairs, said Maddie, gently kicking a large cardboard box that was resting underneath the counter. There's an alcove next to the bookshelf that would make a good home for this box. Kishan picked up the box, grateful for something to do with his hands. It was heavy enough that he had to make sure to lift with his legs and not with his back, but not so heavy that he felt out of breath by the time he reached the top of the stairs. His breathing was heavy, but not labored. It was a good feeling. Kishan set the box down at the spot Maddie had designated and sat down for a moment, waiting for his heart rate to return to normal. It felt good to feel his heart beating inside of his chest. This is how it feels to be alive, he thought to himself. Damn, I'm gonna miss it. I know, I'm over here trying to breathe anything but air. Funerals are absolutely for the living. I don't think I can. Yeah, no, I can't do this one. Volusia, thank you so much for hanging out. As always, it's always so good to see ya. I'll see you sooner rather than later, I hope. I don't think I can do Beth right now, no. Okay, so... Teen Transient. A teenage boy approached the counter. Shoulders slumped forward, head down, eyes on the ground up until the moment he looked up to order a drink. He was old enough that he could have passed for a young adult with a better presentation, but the posture coupled with the oversized backpack he was wearing was a dead giveaway. Irrespective of his age, he was still just a kid. Can I get a Coke? An order befitting of a kid. Yeah, I think we can manage that, said Maddie. Think fast, said Shay. Maddie turned around just in time to see an aluminum can hurtling toward her. She almost caught it. The can rolled back towards Shay, who scooped it off the floor. He hesitated a moment before setting it on the counter. No ice, right? Said Shay. The boy nodded. No. Or, yeah. Yes, to no ice. Shay cracked open the can and poured it into a waiting glass, which he then slid down the counter, pushing it gently enough so that it came to rest in front of the teenage boy. The boy grabbed the glass. Thanks, he said. He glanced around the room. If you're looking for a place to sit, there should be plenty of seats upstairs. Hey, no. The boy nodded and headed for the stairs, drink in hand. Plenty of seats down here, too, said Maddie, turning to Shay. Yeah, said Shay, but I think upstairs is more Tuan's pace. What did you just call him? Tuan, said Shay. People have names, you know. That's the problem with having regulars, said Maddie, and people expect you to remember their names. Though, now that I think about it, Tuan probably wouldn't mind finding out that you don't know his name. Can't have your name on Maddie's shit list if she doesn't know it. Should he be on my shit list? Said Maddie. Nah, he's harmless, said Shay. Maybe a bit susceptible to peer pressure, but I think that's why he comes here. To meet with peers? To meet people who aren't his peers, said Shay. How many glum teenagers do you see around here? Too many, said Maddie. Maybe not enough, said Shay. Please tell me you don't actually mean that, said Maddie. Teenagers have the highest noise to spending ratio of any demographic. Excuse me. Not the glum ones, said Shay. And if I were a glum teenager trying to find my place in the world and trying to carve out an identity for myself, I could imagine a worse place to do it than right here. Teenagers can go be glum somewhere else, said Maddie. Whatever happened to proper teenage delinquency? Be careful what you wish for, said Shay. We've been mercifully delinquent-free for quite a while now. Proper teen delinquents don't loiter in coffee shops, said Maddie. They set things on fire, spray paint alleyways, stay out past curfew. Does the city have a curfew for minors? It should, said Maddie. Teens need to be able to break rules, and all the better if committing acts of vandalism at 11 p.m. gives them a 2-for-1. Maybe they should avoid delinquency and just stick to general mischief, said Shay. Oh, no, said Maddie. We already have plenty of mischief around here ever since Ashley set up shop. Got it, said Shay. Next time I see Tuan, I'll tell him he needs to be committing more crimes. What'll you do if he actually takes your advice? He won't, said Shay. Peer pressure only works if it's from a peer. Someone of my age telling him he'll be cool if he starts swiping liquor won't do much to assure him that he's becoming a thief. Won't do much to assure him that becoming a thief is a ticket to popularity and acceptance. So find another teenager to tell him. I'll keep my eye out, said Shay. Ugh, goodness. And, y'all, just in time. That's it for me for the evening.